Amy Winehouse's life reads like a story written in contrasts, where extraordinary talent met deep personal struggle, and global admiration was shadowed by intense vulnerability. Her voice carried the texture of old soul records, yet her presence was unmistakably modern, raw, and unfiltered. From her earliest days, it was clear she was not just another singer trying to break through. She was someone whose artistry would reshape contemporary music, even if her personal journey would become one of the most discussed tragedies in modern pop culture. Amy Jade Winehouse was born on September 14, 1983, in Southgate, London, into a Jewish family with strong musical roots. Her father, Mitch Winehouse, was a taxi driver with a deep love for jazz, and her mother, Janice Winehouse, worked as a pharmacist. Music surrounded her from an early age, especially classic jazz and soul records played in her household. She was exposed to legends like Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra, and Sarah Vaughan, influences that would later define her vocal style. Even as a child, Amy showed a rebellious streak. She was known for being outspoken, disinterested in formal discipline, and deeply expressive in ways that often set her apart from her peers. By her teenage years, Amy was already writing songs and attending performing arts schools, including the Brit School for Performing Arts and Technology, which also produced artists like Adele and Jessie J. While she was not always focused academically, her creative output was undeniable. She began experimenting with songwriting that reflected emotional honesty, often drawing from her personal experiences long before fame arrived. At 16, she was introduced to the music industry through demo recordings that eventually caught the attention of record labels. One of those recordings made its way to Island Records, which signed her after recognizing the rare depth in her voice. Her debut album, Frank, released in 2003, introduced Amy Winehouse as a serious musical force. The album was heavily influenced by jazz and neo-soul, featuring intricate arrangements and emotionally intelligent lyrics. Critics praised her maturity, especially considering her young age. Songs like Stronger Than Me and Take the Box showcased her ability to blend vulnerability with sharp lyrical insight. The album earned her critical acclaim, including a Brit Award nomination and a Mercury Prize nomination, signaling the beginning of her ascent in the British music scene. Although Frank was not a massive commercial blockbuster at the time, it established her as a unique voice in contemporary music. During this period, Amy began collaborating with a variety of producers and musicians who helped shape her evolving sound. One of the most important figures in her career was producer Mark Ronson, who would later play a central role in her global breakthrough. She also worked with Salaam Remi, who helped craft the soulful, retro-inspired production that became one of her signatures. These collaborations allowed her to fuse classic Motown influences with modern lyrical storytelling, creating a sound that stood apart from mainstream pop. Her second album, Back to Black, released in 2006, became a cultural phenomenon. This project transformed Amy Winehouse from a critically respected artist into a global superstar. The album was deeply personal, drawing heavily from her turbulent relationship with Blake Fielder Civil. The songs explored themes of heartbreak, addiction, betrayal, and emotional collapse, yet they were delivered with a musical sophistication reminiscent of 1960s girl groups. The collaboration between Amy Winehouse, Mark Ronson, and Salaam Remi resulted in one of the most influential albums of the 21st century. Back to Black produced several iconic tracks, including Rehab, You Know I'm No Good, Back to Black, and Tears Dry on Their Own. Rehab, in particular, became a defining anthem, both celebrated and misunderstood by the public. Its refusal of treatment was often quoted in media narratives, sometimes overshadowing the deeper irony and personal struggle embedded in the song. The album achieved massive commercial success worldwide and solidified Amy Winehouse as one of the most important voices of her generation. Her collaborations during this era expanded further, including work with Tony Bennett, who famously recorded Body and Soul with her in 2011. That collaboration would later become one of her final recorded performances and earned critical praise for showcasing her enduring vocal strength despite personal struggles. Amy Winehouse's achievements were widely recognized across the industry. She received 6 Grammy nominations and won 5 Grammy Awards in a single night in 2008, tying the record at the time for the most wins by a female artist in one evening. These awards included Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best New Artist. She also received multiple B-Right Awards, including Best British Female Solo Artist, as well as Ivor Novello Awards for Songwriting Excellence. Her success placed her among the most decorated British artists of her era. Beyond music, Amy's influence extended into philanthropy, particularly later in her life and after her passing. The Amy Winehouse Foundation was established in her honor in 2011 by her family. The foundation focuses on supporting young people struggling with addiction, providing education, prevention programs, and rehabilitation support. It also works to empower vulnerable youth through music education and mentorship, continuing her legacy in a meaningful and structured way. Amy Winehouse's personal life was often intensely publicized, especially her relationship with Blake Fielder Civil. The two had a highly volatile relationship marked by passion, separation, reconciliation, and shared struggles with substance abuse. They were married in 2007 and divorced in 2009. Their relationship heavily influenced the emotional content of Back to Black, shaping much of its narrative intensity. Amy did not have any children, and her personal life remained deeply complicated by the pressures of fame, media scrutiny, and addiction. As her fame grew, so did her struggles with substance abuse and mental health. Amy battled addiction to alcohol and drugs, which became increasingly visible in public appearances and performances. Her health deteriorated during the late 2000s, leading to canceled shows and widely reported incidents that overshadowed her musical achievements. Despite multiple attempts at rehabilitation, she continued to struggle with relapse, a battle that became tragically central to her public image. On July 23, 2011, Amy Winehouse died at her home in Camden, London, at the age of 27. Her death was ruled as accidental alcohol poisoning, with extremely high levels of alcohol found in her system. The official inquest confirmed that she had voluntarily consumed a large amount of alcohol after a period of abstinence, which led to fatal consequences. Her passing placed her among the group often referred to as the 27 Club, a tragic collection of influential musicians who died at the same age. At the time of her death, Amy Winehouse's net worth was estimated to be around several $million, with figures commonly reported in the range of approximately 10 million USD, largely derived from album sales, royalties, and touring. However, her estate has since grown significantly due to continued music sales, streaming revenue, and posthumous releases. Amy Winehouse's legacy remains one of the most powerful and complex in modern music history. She reshaped the sound of 2000s soul and pop, influencing artists such as Adele, Duffy, Sam Smith, and countless others who followed. Her voice, instantly recognizable for its depth and emotional texture, continues to resonate with new generations of listeners. Even years after her passing, her music remains widely streamed and celebrated, a testament to its timeless quality. Her story is often discussed not only in terms of tragedy, but also in terms of artistic authenticity. She was an artist who never diluted her emotions for commercial appeal, and that honesty is what made her music endure. At the same time, her struggles highlight the harsh realities of fame, addiction, and mental health pressures in the entertainment industry. In reflecting on Amy Winehouse's life, it becomes clear that her impact extends far beyond her recorded work. She changed how audiences understand vulnerability in music, proving that imperfection can be powerful and that honesty can be unforgettable. Her voice continues to echo through time, not only as a reminder of what she achieved, but also of what was lost too soon. As her legacy continues to grow, her story invites listeners to revisit her music with fresh perspective, appreciating both its brilliance and its humanity. If this journey through her life resonated with you, exploring more stories of iconic artists can reveal how deeply music shapes culture, memory, and emotion across generations.